Hickok 45 here, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the beautiful, is this beautiful? Hills of Middle Tennessee. Yes, the home of Davy Crockett, Alvin York, Robin Hood. Is Robin Hood a real person? Don't think so. Maybe, maybe not. Yes, but I'm going to be Robin Hood today. Anyway, glad you're here at the beautiful hills in Middle Tennessee today. We're going to do something different. You know, since there's no guns or ammo, we're going to shoot some arrows. How's that? Well, that's not the reason. But I have gotten back into archery lately, and I've been having a little fun with it. Got me some arrows that work, and I'll talk about that. Some of you are into archery. We have 5 or 6, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 archery videos. People keep begging me to do more videos, and I'm not an expert, but yeah, we might do a couple more, okay? So I brought it out today. Just, again, kind of it's like throwing darts if you've never done it. It's very similar. It's just kind of addictive. And if you just develop a minimal amount of skill, don't get too far away from your targets, it's just fun. And guess what? You have reusable ammo if you don't miss too much, okay? So look at this. I'm going to shoot right away. All right, I brought one of my archery targets over here. In fact, the new one I picked up. It's that green thing down there. Yeah. And I'm going to take a couple shots at it because it was designed to be shot. I promise you. That's why it absorbs the arrows like it does. Boom. It's pretty hard. I don't know if it's designed for a crossbow or what, but anyway, glad to have you here. And hope everybody's surviving, again, the apocalypse and the bug. You know, it's kind of a tough time for everybody. Now, I've got my hat on backwards, not because I'm trying to be cool today. Wouldn't that be pretty funny if I ever tried to be cool? You know, really. It's like shooting with a scope. Sometimes you want to turn your hat around. What happens with this is the stringing comes back and your hat is in the way, definitely. And anytime you're shooting, you're reminded, if you forget, we were at a 3D shoot, that's shooting the fake animals. You know, you see those rubber animals at the sporting goods store. They have 3D shoots, if you're not familiar with that, where people will set up like 20 or 30 or 40 of those in the woods. And you go pay, and you go through the entire course, walk through the woods, and, you know, for an hour or two, kind of like redneck golf, sporting clays. And you take your shot at each one, keep a score. You know, my buddies and I don't even keep score. We do it for fun. Well, everybody does it for fun, I guess, but we don't keep score. We're not that good, and we don't care. We just want to hit the animal, hit it somewhere. Now, it's fake. It's not real. I've got a couple of those. And anyway, if you forget and you get your hat turned around, you really can't shoot. Okay, so again, I'm not trying to be cool. That would be a futile effort. And that's an understatement, right? But as I was saying, I know it's a tough time. It's as I speak to you, of course, we're on the weekend of March 22nd. Let's see, I put it on, yeah, that's March 22nd. So it's tough. There are a lot of people are closed in, and you don't have 40 acres to wander around on and shoot, you know. So, you know, I feel very, very, very fortunate. You know, even though I'm in the high-risk group, supposedly, I am not locked into a small apartment and afraid to go out the door and that sort of thing. And I do run around. I go to the post office every day and even buy the grocery or whatever. You know, I'm just very careful. Use the hand sanitizer before I get back in the car, you know, and keep my car clean inside. And I'm very, very careful, but I still get out. But it is a tough time. It's a weird time, isn't it? It sort of came onto us of a sudden. The one thing, not to minimize it, but you know, as I think I've said before, this is sort of a soft apocalypse, really. I know it may not seem like that to you with the troubles maybe you're going through, especially if you're unemployed, your job went away. Because that money they're talking about, I don't think it's gotten to anybody yet, right? But a real apocalypse is when the grid shuts down, okay? So we all need to be thankful that we have electricity and water. Hopefully you do. lighting, the internet. That's how you're watching me, right? So this Sunday, as you sit there, stand there, and you're watching this fool, me, just keep that in mind. Boy, could it be worse if we didn't have, I heard somebody say a week ago that, in the 1940s, we asked, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, however many it were, men mostly, but people, men and women both, mostly men, to head to Europe with a rifle or the Pacific to the front lines. Now we're asking people to stay home and sit on the couch and watch TV. To kind of put it in perspective, there have been some really hard times in this country. Going back to the Great Depression and just everything. You all have heard all the stories and the comparisons and everything. It doesn't make it a lot better. It doesn't make it any more comfortable for you, does it, or me? But again, I'm fortunate. I plan a little bit. I'm a little bit of a prepper. Always have been. Partly just out of common sense. 9/11. The terrorists around the world would love to shut us down and do something. They'd like to kill us all with a virus. They'd like to shut down our grid. They'll ruin all of our water. If you know anything that's gone on in the last 20 years, you know, just from documents that we have found, some of these places around the Mideast or wherever, of some of the plans and how they could do some of these things, And of course, we've been working overtime, especially since 9/11, but even before that, to prevent that from happening, and have actually thwarted a lot of that sort of thing, where it was going to happen, at least in large chunks of the country. Anyway, everybody needs to have a little prepper in them, I think, and just be ready to not, at a moment's notice, to not have to leave the house or apartment, I don't know, for a week, how about a month, maybe even. Maybe 3 months, 6 months. That's up to you and what you can manage, where you live. But I know it's a little bit late to be talking about that now, and I don't mean to say I told you so, because, I was caught surprised too. This thing really is just sneaked up on us, didn't it? That's the way it happens. It's the way it happens. Again, though, what if in the middle of the night, the grid just went down? You wake up, you have no power, no electricity, you have nothing, and no heat, air, air conditioning, and no way to get it. Well, if that happens, what do you think their grocery is going to be like? What do you think their corner market's going to be like? The gas tanks, for one thing, nothing's going to run. You're not going to be able to buy any gasoline. Yeah, they are at the grocery now. Markets, they can't even check you out if the power's not up, and of course, there's only going to be about 10,000 people there if that were to happen, so you're not going to get anything anyway. So anyway, not to scare you, but a grid shutdown or something like that's when it really happens fast, and you have no chance. You have no chance. We had a little bit of warning on this, not much, but and as I've always said, the worst things really that happen, and sometimes the best things, definitely the worst things that happen in life, at least that have happened to me, have been surprises. They come all of a sudden. It's that phone call you get, about your mother in the hospital, or your father's dying or something, you just unexpected. I remember each one of those calls, where I was standing, when it happened, my brother, my mother, my father, and you all have that history too, so things just happen. And in a way, it's a little bit like that. You're sort of numbed for a while, and you can't believe it. You're in the twilight zone, and like with this, it's like, this is weird. You go to the market, and there's no paper products, and shelves are bare. There's not many people around. Look at the streets of New York City and everything. It's just it's a twilight zone in a lot of ways. So anyway, I hope you're managing okay. I kind of think with these new malaria treatments and things that they're experimenting with, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that things are going to get better in 2 or 3 weeks. I think we're going to get some positive news, and Well, for one thing, I heard some guys talking this morning. We're not going to be able to shut down for forever. We can't. They were kind of talking more realistically about how if we stay shut down like this, 2-3 months, the economy is going to be so bad. We're going to be a third world country. Talk about health problems, then we will have health problems, maybe worse than what we have right now. So I don't think we're going to be shut down, 3-4 months. I just don't see that happening. If it does, I'll be the best archer, around, because I'm going to continue to sling arrows. I don't know. I'm just rambling, as I always do, right? And don't know what I'm rambling about usually. Now, I'm not necessarily aiming at sometimes I do. I'm really just getting back into this. I had kind of gotten away from it, and I've been bad about that. I go a whole year and not pull the bow back. And I tell you, if you've never done this before, it's muscles in your back and your shoulder you just don't use. And you can really hurt your shoulder badly. Your shoulder, like your hip, it's a complicated joint. And so you want to, I don't care how tough you are, how strong you are, you want to be, careful of that. Because I've known people that hadn't been hunting, they bow hunt. And in fact, my nephew said he ruined his shoulder for like a year. He couldn't even pull the bow back because he was cold out in the woods and he was bow hunting. And he pulled that thing back to shoot a deer, and it was a compound bow. And, he was done. Another friend, similar thing for about a year. And I pulled my both triggers and barrels on that double barrel shotgun before, back around Christmas. I forgot the video we did with a shotgun slugfest with a double barrel. I fired 2 at once, and I don't know, my shoulder felt funny there for a while, and so I was a little bit delayed in getting back into this. I was afraid to damage it, because you got to take care of your shoulders. So it's just something you got to do. The thing is, in case you didn't know that, think about it. With a bow, and they're fun. They really are fun. You're used to your kid's bow that you used to have, or maybe your children have one. You can just grab it and pull it back a little bit. You can't really hit anything like that much. It's like a firearm. You need a consistent powder charge, the same bullet weight and everything, every time you pull the trigger, okay? Especially with a handgun. A bow, like this, traditional bow, you don't even really have sights. So you need to have consistency. That's the big thing, like throwing darts. The exact same form, exact same stance and everything every time, and you'll gradually get better at it. Well, basketball, whatever you want to call it, or whatever sport you want to talk about. Well, this is the same way. So think about where you get your consistency. There's a dramatic difference between having that bow pulled back a quarter of the way, that string, or all the way. Imagine that, yeah. So you need to pull it back all the way every time to the same place on your cheek. It's kind of your index point there. And I've talked about that in the video. The same place, hold the bow the same way every time, preferably using good technique, which I probably don't do. But all of that has to be consistent to even have a chance of hitting anything, okay, and develop any skills. The same arrow, same weight, all that. Okay, I'm going to go back to my cheek, same point, and then a nice little release and all that. So I'm kind of getting back into it, but if you didn't know that. So that's why on your shoulder it's hard. So whatever weight your bow is, if you got a 50-pound bow or a 70-pound bow, the first time you pick it up to shoot it, it's hard to just sort of break in slowly. Well, let me warm up a little bit before I go all the way back. Can't do that very well. You can't shoot it like that. So that's why you want to warm up. I've got a piece of surgical tubing I work out with at night. There's when I'm doing this, and maybe I don't shoot the bow for a few days. Well, I'll try to remember to pull that back at night a little bit, get my arm, because you can shoot so much better if you get that strength built up, and then you don't hurt your shoulder either. So anyway, no charge for that. So I'm probably going to go way too long because I'm talking about all kinds of stuff today. But so I think everybody that supports us right now, they're having a busy time, right? Atmex.com. Speaking of silver and silver eagles, they're swamped. it's just a busy time for everybody associated kind of with what we're doing. I don't know about Ballistol and Talon Grips, but they're probably doing a record business too. Anything involved with the firearms industry just seems to be really, really busy right now, doesn't it? Hey, is it okay if I slip this in? Okay, I know I'm in a different location and everything, but I finished yakking at you in the Sunday shoot around, and I got back here to the house and got an email from Buds, and oh man, Buds is really slammed. You know, I mentioned that, you know, and in the Sunday shoot around, which we're still in the Sunday shoot around, right? Yeah, I'm still talking around in the Sunday shoot around, but I just moved. It's like magic. It is. You know, speaking of that email, I have a G3 Taurus on order you all have requested. I ordered for Buds. It's been over a week, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I haven't gotten it. Well, okay. I figure they're busy, you know, really busy. I haven't even asked about it. You know, normally they come in 2 or 3 days. So that's kind of what the email was about. If you're a Team Buds member or you're a customer of Buds, you've gotten that email. But just want to help them out a little bit, because this is an exact kind of thing I talk about in the Sunday shoot around. Anything dealing with one of our supporters, you know, I get a little more time, I can help them out a little bit if there's something specific, you know, whereas in a shooting video, gun video, I don't. But anyway, just be aware that as is expressed in this email from the president, Rex McClanahan, great people at Buds, great people, and they are swamped, but they are really high tech, really high tech. And if you placed an order, it's there, okay? If you've got a confirmation on an order, rest assured, you know, you'll be getting it. If there's a problem with your order, you'll hear from them, okay? You'll hear from them. They will call you. So one of the issues that they're having, obviously, is they're having a lot of people call and email, and they're getting not only inundated with orders, which is a good thing, right? If you're in business, it's just that nobody's set up for this. Just like if you're making toilet paper, or you're making ammo or guns right now, right? Precious metals. So your order's in, they will call you if there's a problem with it. But if you don't hear from them, no news is good news. Okay, so that's just the way that goes. They have a warehouse. So if you've seen the video we did at their warehouse a few years back, I mean, stacks of guns, stacks ammo, and everything. And so they have guns, they have ammo right now. Some of their stuff comes from distributors, you know, but like a lot of dealers, most of their stuff comes from distributors. It's not even, they don't ever have even possession of it, you know. And then sometimes now distributors can jack and move around their prices, you know, so you see some of that going on with distributors especially now. So they have no control over that if it's coming from a distributor. But I guess most, or a lot, almost most probably, of the ammo that you order from Buds comes directly from them, which they do have control over. But anyway, they don't have the staff to handle, you know, literally thousands of calls and messages an hour. So that's mainly the message, so to help them get that out, okay? Just like, you know, anybody in business can't. You just get overwhelmed. So no news is good news. They've got your order if you ordered something. If you messed up the order or there's a problem with it, they will contact you, okay? So happy to help get that word out, and that's what we do, you know? Sunday shoot-around's a great place to talk about that. Even if I'm not at the Golf Club range, where I just left from, right? Sun's even coming out. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I don't know what else I could say about that that would be helpful to you or to Buds. You know, they just be aware of that. They just, you know, their staff is just like everybody else. It's quite an operation. You know, I've been there, and they have a lot of great people, and they have kids, and some of them, I don't know if any of them are sick or not, but they've got kids, and their kids are home from school, and it's just a challenging time for everybody. So we all just need to be cool. You know, we all probably have things on order. I have things on order from Amazon. You know, well, ever going to get here? You know, and that gun, you know, from Buds. But so anyway, just be patient as much as you possibly can. And no news is good news. All right, your order will come. Probably a lot of first-time gun buyers, possibly, and are desperate to get that first gun, whatever it is. You know, and we're accustomed to getting stuff on the porch 2 days after we order it, right? Well, that may not be the the pandemic rate of delivery, right, from anybody these days. So anyway, just want to help him out, and I'm sorry for interrupting Hickok 45, but I'm going to let him get back to yakking about less important things, more important things, just different things. Maybe we can get him to shoot some more arrows even. So anyway, little insert, and I apologize to Hickok 45, the Gong Club range, Hickok 45 over there. I apologize to you. So just pull back another arrow, shoot that target, and enjoy your archery, okay? And again, pardon the interruption. So, what else was I going to? Well, I was going to give you an update on John's schedule, but you know, I think a lot of the stuff is canceled that he was doing, just like everybody else. He was going to be at Zany's, I think on the 29th. They're having a showcase of some sort. I don't know if they'll still do that, or maybe they'll stream it. I think they streamed something last night, in fact, and maybe it'll be available on computer. So I don't know. Check his Instagram again. You see John, @John _ Hickok 45. Check his Instagram and you know, see what's going on there. When I get this, funny when it's cold and I get to talking, my nose gets to running a little bit. I don't have the virus or anything, but it's just when I get to talking, it's kind of chilly, and it's happened every time. So as far as his schedule, I'm not sure. So keep check on his Instagram, and maybe you'll learn something there. What else? Oh, I got this gun out. This is a gun I was meaning to bring out. Remember this one? Yeah, this is that toy gun I got in Tombstone. Couldn't buy a real gun. There were none for sale. And I bought this at, where did I buy that place? I don't know, someplace on there on the main drag in Tombstone, Arizona, when we were out there. And I showed it to you in a video, at least one of the Sunday shoot-arounds, the one we did at Old Tucson, I think. Didn't want to drag a real gun out. You know, they might have ended up in jail there on that property. But I actually had it there. So, what else? You know, speaking of, you know, this kind of thing that's going on, not only is it wise to, I know it's after the fact, some of this, but to kind of prepare for things. And please, let's not just clean out the groceries when this is over, but just, you know, just gradually over the next year or two. Surely we won't have anything happen for a couple of years, 3. Just make sure you're able to get by for a few weeks, that kind of thing at least minimum. You know, another part of that too is the financial side. You know, you got people right now have no income, and that's something you want to prepare for. I know I'm not a financial advisor, but just a human advisor. How's that? And I'm not always been good about it either, but in the last 30, 40 years, whatever, I've gotten a whole lot better. I keep a really good budget, no matter what my income is. I keep a very strict budget. I can tell you, and I don't even spend a lot of time doing it at all. Maybe one time I'll do a video on that, my system. It's really simple, and it just is. It's worked for me forever. But, you know how much money you got for anything, whether it's for your gun budget or whatever, gasoline, whatever it is, you know, the bills you have. And then have a category for, well, obviously savings, different types, you know, for retirement, for short-term savings and all those things, and for the apocalypse that could happen or whatever. And so that you know, you're not on the street, you know. I mean, that's survival. That's survival. There are people who have all kinds of ammo, I'm sure, and guns, but if they lose their job, you know, in a week, you know, they're just living paycheck to paycheck. You know, first priority is have that emergency money. You know, it really is. And then how much of it is up to you. But I would continue adding to it. You know, for a long time, I have looked at whatever money I have. I think, okay, if I lost my job today, how long could I live normally? You know, a month, a week, you know, 2 months. I would just literally calculate it. Do I know what I spend each month? And how long can I go? Can I go, you know, 6 months, a year? And so you know. So everybody out there walking around right now, ideally, you know, we know that's not true, But if we stopped them on the street and said, hey, what if your income stream, whatever it is, stopped right now? How long would you be okay? And ideally, everybody would be able to answer 2 months, 3 months, a year. Yeah, I don't know. Instead of this, about 2 days, you know. Now, I know that's easy to say if you have a better income than somebody else, but it doesn't matter what your income is. You're living based on whatever that income is. And virtually everybody could put away like 10%, 7%, or whatever it is, and just pretend you don't make that. That's not even part of your money, just like you have to do with taxes and stuff. And then it's just, you don't even know you have it. You never get into it, for anything. And, because it just makes you sleep better, I really feel sorry for folks that just have nothing to get by on for like a week or 2 or 3. That's a really bad place to be. Okay, here I am giving financial advice, but that's really just life advice. Okay. And not to rub it in during these bad times, but it's a time to be reminded of that, isn't it? It really is. And what's always worked for me is just like a lot of the financial advisors will say, pay yourself first. What they mean. So just to rake it off the top. If you just plan, okay, whatever I have left this month, I'm going to save, or it's like closet space. Whatever you got, you'll use it, right? So you got to rake it off the top and put it in there, just like it's the electric bill or something fun. And then that money is gone. It's in that category, okay? It's in that envelope, it's in that safe, it's in the bank, wherever it is. And it's like it doesn't exist, okay? And that's just my advice, I don't know if it's worth anything. It's been worth a lot to me. It's really made my life a lot, not simpler, but makes you sleep better, okay? Think about it. What if you knew that whatever your income is, you may be very young, you're working by the hour or whatever it is, but if you knew that some kind of catastrophe, whatever happens, that your life really won't change for 5 or 6 months, that's pretty cool, isn't it? You won't be in any desperate situations for that long. Okay, let me get off of that stuff. But I thought it was something that I feel like it's my obligation, having been through more life than many of you, to kind of point those things out. Because I've had every sort of income you can imagine, very low to relatively high. Okay, everything, lots of job. I taught school, maybe a lot of new people. I taught school for 29 years, so I wasn't rich very, was I? But so I've dealt with that. I kept the money in envelopes. I've used the Dave Ramsey system, modified. I've done all of that. I had to. Okay, and I still do it. It just works to have the categories and keep track of it. I just have a smarter method, I think, even, but it's simpler. But you got to do that, and again, we've all learned. If you have any age on you, you will have learned a lot of this through experience, and it's just sort of nice to get ahead of it. Okay, and it doesn't matter if all you can save is $20 a week or something. It gradually adds up, doesn't it? It really does. So what else was I going to blab at you about? I know. Oh, yeah. Well, you know me. I've got to talk about the media a little bit. Aren't they in rare form? This is like, it's like a godsend for them. They just love it when there's something like a crisis, right? And, of course, we've got to watch them, too, the government and the media, because it's an opportunity to take our gun rights away, isn't it? So we have to watch that. They're so negative. That's part of their job. You and I can't do it, so whoever's in office, they've got to keep them honest. Yeah, the fourth estate. It is part of their job. But oh my gosh, are they obnoxious. And they're so negative about things. The thing is, they're so negative about things that there's nothing to be negative about, or they're overdoing that, whereas I think it takes away from the job they should be doing. Just make sure people in government are being honest They're telling us the truth and all those sorts of things, not trying to pull something on us, do the investigation, but not just every little thing that goes on, attacking, whoever's in charge. Like, for example, the task force right now that's involved with this. Now, again, I lean libertarian, but so far, I'm impressed with that task force, okay? Those are some smart folks, and doing those daily long briefings and everything, so it's very transparent, that's for sure, very transparent. But, and there's things to criticize some of the task force about, I'm sure. I think not much major, but there's things you could criticize. But oh my gosh, it's almost like a comedy show watching the media try to gain points. Play the gotcha game with them. These really smart people, and that are just it seems to me they're just doing some really cool things, and they're extremely efficient, as much as you can be under the circumstances. I may be wrong, you may disagree, but the media, that's what they do, and that's what people do that need attention, right? It is one of my favorite topics, of course, because I think it helps if we all understand the mentality of the media and of people who are involved in that same sort of thing, because we're all trying to, I guess, get attention in life, right? I don't know, since we're like 2 years old or 1 year old, and their claim to fame is to especially in the public eye, national TV, to ask a question and get somebody, oh man, then they're famous, they've got, someone who's basically a nobody can become a somebody, okay, with one line, okay. I'll nail down the head of the CDC, or I'll nail down the president, or I'll nail down the Secretary of Defense, or whoever. So that's their goal in life, to do that. And of course, it's always attractive for any of us, I think, in some ways, to have that contrarian view about anything. I've talked about that with like the hipster sort of thing. It's just kind of human nature to take the alternate opinion, the contrarian opinion on something, and it feels good to us. We're just human, to feel smarter than other people, right? We all have to guard against that. I'm not excluding myself. We all have that, I think, that inside us. It's really, I think, attractive to humans. They tell me, I'm not human, but they tell me that humans find it attractive to be smarter than other people and see something that other people don't see, have discovered something that other people haven't discovered, right? That maybe is what drives people into media to begin with. And the thing is, anybody can do that, can claim, that, no, that's right, they're all stupid, they're all wrong, some big organization or government entity or whatever it is, or just anybody, they're stupid, they're wrong. I got the real reason, I got the answer. And I mean, you get right down to it, it's kind of the basis for some of just even basic, simple trolling, because it makes somebody feel smarter, get their name out there or get their comment, out there, that no matter how ridiculous it is, it gets heard or seen maybe, so it's just kind of a human nature. They get this rush of like a self-importance or something, from that, of course. And often it's true though. That's the thing. We don't know. We gain something from people taking the contrarian view quite often, right? Because they may provide some insight and may uncover something that we weren't aware of. So, but it's hard to know, because it is kind of a human drive, I think. I'm not a psychologist either. I'm just playing one on YouTube, right? But it's just sort of a drive, that people have. If you can find something, point something out that other people just are not seeing, wow, that really makes you feel smart, doesn't it? Yeah, That's a real badge that you get to wear if you get to do that. You know, and of course just being able to tear down something bigger than you. You know, that's a real inspiration, a heady experience. If you can prove that, you know, Elvis couldn't sing or something. I mean, whatever it is, invoke the gods or whatever it might be. You know, I always think of for a regular human to feel even superpowered and more powerful and smarter. You know, the more powerful the person you pull down, like the president or whoever, then the more attention you get and the smarter you seem, or the braver you seem, or whatever it is. If you can stand up and insult the president of the United States, and again, whether it's Obama or Trump or whoever, you know, I'm not saying that. So you're just, you special. Boy, you're not afraid. Wow. Speaking, what's the line? Speaking truth to power. Wow. You're amazing. Oh, pat you on the back. Well, maybe you're speaking truth to power, or maybe you're just an idiot trying to get attention. Yeah, that kind of thing. I'm always reminded of, well, not always, but I'm reminded of the famous poem. You never know where I'm going, do you? Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. Used to teach it. We used to talk about that in my late class. And I was talk to the students about how Edgar Allan Poe elevates in that poem, if you're familiar with it, you probably read it in class. You should have somewhere along the way. But he elevates his love for Annabel Lee, who was actually supposed to be based on one of his true loves earlier in life and everything, but who died, I think, of the consumption or tuberculosis or whatever. But he talks about how his love for her was so great. Their love was so great. You know, that poem is about that, how much they were in love and all that. Well, what do you do to make that love seem even greater? I mean, you can write a poem very poetically and artfully describing how much you loved each other and all that kind of thing. Or if you really want to make it special and make yourself special, sound more special, and I'm not equating Edgar Allan Poe with the media, but sort of, is you invoke the gods. What's the highest level? You know, well, what's he do? He says that the angels were jealous of him and his Annabel Lee, you know, and they sent down a cloud, chilling his Annabel Lee because they were jealous of their love, you know. So the angels in heaven, you know, their love was so great that the angels in heaven even were jealous of their love and that sort of thing, and that's the reason she died. You know, they did it because they were jealous. So anyway, you know, just elevating, you know, who you're engaging. You're engaging. If I could get into a press conference, for example, and engage the Secretary of State and accuse him of something, oh my gosh, man, I'm a man if I've done that, aren't I? I'm somebody, you know. Or if I can blame the gods on something, that just makes it more important, makes me more important, or whatever I'm talking about, more important. Doesn't that make any sense? I know. Hickok, go back to arrow slinging. So I'm probably going to talk a little longer today because I know you're all home and you ain't got nothing to do, right? Now you're actually probably doing something more useful than watching me. But anyway, for those who do, I appreciate it. So I thought I'd just ramble a little bit extra. Maybe I won't. I don't know what the time is, but I made up some just bullet points. I thought I'd talk about some things. And I'm worried about you. I'm afraid that you're getting depressed and that you're watching reruns of Andy Griffith too much or whatever it is you might be doing. Maybe you're reading too much, right? Is that possible? Nah, probably not. But anyway, it's a crazy world right now, and I know that people are literally are concerned. You look at the guns that are being bought, you know, and ammunition and all that kind of thing. And a lot of those gun buyers, I've seen some statistics from studies and surveys, they're like 75% in that ballpark are new gun buyers even. Yeah, and there's been, you know, talk about that. And a lot of them may be people who were previously anti-gun, which I think is great. I think that's great. maybe this has converted some people a little bit, you know. Maybe I do need a gun, you know, or maybe I'd sleep better with a gun, you know. And so that's good. That's good. More people we can bring in to the fold, get them into firearms and shooting, the more people will realize that, hey, the Second Amendment meant something. Yeah, it means something. That's what I mean when I use past tense. I mean, the founders knew what they were doing, okay? Is it does mean something. And, you know, so maybe that's not all bad. I don't know. I you know, I don't know. I don't think we're going to have too crazy a time. But, yeah, you are a little bit more on guard, you know. I didn't run out and buy a gun or anything. I thought it was probably all right. And, but I do, let me shoot a couple more arrows. I do keep a handgun close. Of course, I always do. And I am not going to rely on my bow for that. By the way, this is a Humingbird bow. It's a kind of a hybrid longbow, and kind of a minimalist bow. I like it. I've got a better, actually, recurve that he made. Ben Graham of Humingbird. He's passed away since, but I shoot this one better, and so this is the one I shoot. It's my favorite, and it's in a beautiful wood. You can see that. But I love it. I love it. I talked to Ben Graham, and he made it a little bit longer for me and everything to specs, and now he's gone. But that's the way it goes, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not going to rely on this to save my life. But I keep a firearm handy. I always do. Yeah, I've had people ask me, "What are you doing for the apocalypse?" Well, same thing I always do. I'm always prepared, and I make sure I have one of my favorite firearms handy, like a Glock 19, maybe a 45, and I even make sure I have something a little more, a little more what? What would you say? Dramatic, ready, okay? Like the 6.8 LWRC. Oh, I didn't know if I was going to shoot those or not, but I brought it out. I want to make sure the sights are on, so I may do that before I go in. And then, of course, I even have this toy gun. You never know when you might need that, right? So it was kind of funny. I was going to tell you, on the lighter side, I had found some paper products. Throw my hat around now. Pick my stuff off. And had some toilet paper, a one pack, and some paper towels, you know, and also went to pick up a gun that had come in. The Taurus Circuit Judge, believe it or not. Y'all been requesting that forever. So I went to pick it up at the gun shop over in Ashland City. We appreciate their help bringing our guns in, Ashland City Armory. And I thought and then I went to walk. There's a park nearby, which I walked some days ago and walked, especially if it was rainy. You think, well, you need to go somewhere to walk. I get 40 acres. Yeah, it's just muddy. It seems like all the time now, the mess. So I had to go over there on pavement, you know, it's easier at trails and stuff. So I parked my car, and I thought, and I always think of that, if I have a firearm in there or something like that valuable. And I thought, well, wait a minute. Today, the most valuable thing in my car is this roll of paper towels and this pack of toilet paper. The people would leave the gun there and grab that stuff, right, if they saw that. They broke a window. But so anyway, it's a strange time. I got to tell you one other story. I don't get to my real my own Facebook very often at all. Yeah, that's something I keep meaning to mention. People will, if I'm a name, they'll go there, request friends. Look, I don't go there, so don't ever feel like I'm ignoring you, even though I am. If you request to be a friend on my real Facebook or something, because I don't go there, I don't use it for family or something occasionally. That's it. I just don't. I spend all my time on Hickok 45 stuff and Facebook and all that. Not that I'm on there very, very much. Just skim through messages. But But lately I've been going since a little more time. Although my life hasn't changed that much. I'm still getting ready for videos, and I work at home anyway, right? But so it is kind of neat to go there occasionally and see the people, like former students that are friends and colleagues from my teaching days and different things, family, what they're up to, because I just don't see those postings very much because I don't go there. But I was scrolling down through the other day, and there was a posting of someone had found a picture of a hand. You may have seen it. It's probably all around the internet, and I'm not sure where he got it, but someone posted a hand, and I think it was this part of the face of the hand, and it had all this little writing or some ink pen, like about 500 words probably, on the hand in ink. You couldn't read them; they're so small. Just all over it. And he said, it was a poster, kind of a picture, said, I've been washing my hands, something to this effect. I've been washing my hands so much, so frequently, that I've gotten down to all my cheat sheet from my middle school exams. Okay, so I found all the answers to my middle school exams written on my hand under there after I've been washing it so much, and that's what that's supposed to be. It's pretty funny. Well, I saw that. Oh, that was pretty funny. I saw who posted it. It's really someone I don't really communicate with much, but at all, I guess. But somehow we're friends on Facebook. It's the reason I saw it from years back. And it was a student of mine. So it was. He's like 55 years old probably now, right there. He was a student when I first started teaching in the 70s, in the early 70s. He was in my class, my 7th grade class, probably in 70, might have been 73, 74, 75, along in there, one of the early classes. So he's got to be around 55, mid-50s. And I think he's a doctor now. But anyway, so that was great. And so I don't know if I've even communicated with him on Facebook before, but I wrote an answer to that and said, yeah, I see that. I think I recognize some of those answers as from that English exam I gave you, so I need to see you in my office whenever you get a chance or something like that. Isn't that funny? He posts that as this general funny thing, to the world. But yeah, I was your middle school English teacher, if you remember, and I think those are some of my answers. Anyway, I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah. So anyway, everybody's doing the best they can, enjoying, I guess, Facebook and posting, communicating with family, and I see a lot of postings, especially when I go to my real Facebook, different people, things they're doing, to pass the time, and some of it's good, right? Spending time with family and doing things they hadn't done in a long time. So it's not all bad. I feel sorry for the people who have 2 or 3 kids and they're trying to do their lessons from home, and maybe they live in a small house or an apartment, and they're trying to juggle their work from home maybe, and I mean just everything going on. I don't know how you do it. Don't know how you do it. I mean, wow. Again, I'm very fortunate. My life hasn't changed dramatically, even though I'm in the high-risk group. Maybe should be more worried than some people, but I'm sort of, it's like getting that gun and do research on that and get ready to do a video this week, maybe on the circuit judge, and just keeping up with the channel and that kind of thing. So I've been working from home for a good while here, 7 or 8 years, since I left teaching, but it's a strange world. And I don't think I have any other announcements to make, but I hope you're doing well, and I do think it's not going to be extremely prolonged. I think we can't, some of the discussions that are taking place now, you see, I think we can't stand it for too long, really. I think we get to a point of negative returns, really. I mean, this we do. If we can get over this, we can flatten out this curve a little bit. I think that people are just going to have to, the economy's going to have to just get back to work. Just that simple. And maybe we'll get all the respirators we need made and all that kind of thing, and get through it. and get a good treatment that works and all that. So it's really good. It's impressive how the companies are jumping in, isn't it? It is just like World War II, and it's amazing what this country is capable of doing when people really put their minds to it and people work together. Just amazing. And it's good to know that that can happen. You know, that's when I sit and watch these task force press briefings and different things and what's going on and with the private sector and with government. I think, wow, maybe there's hope for this country after all. Yeah, maybe there is hope. I don't know. I mean, I'm just impressed with the number of really smart people and what they seem to be getting done, you know. So maybe there's hope. Maybe there is for this crazy country. Sometimes you look at social media, you know, and then you think, well, I don't think there is any hope. But when you get back into the real world, you know, maybe there is. Maybe there is. So anyway, I hope you're getting through it. And you know, if you're a firearms person, which you probably are, this gives you plenty of time to clean those firearms, right? It really does. If you're a new gun buyer, a first-time gun buyer, and you're probably not watching this, maybe you did, maybe you have. I'm sure there'll be a lot of those folks who'll stumble in on our videos as they're searching about this gun they bought. Yeah, he bought this shotgun. What is it? Let me read the side. It's a Mossberg 500. Is that what it is? Okay. Let me Google that. See how it works. So they'll probably land on some of our videos. Now we may do a video for those people. We probably will. But you know, I don't know. But, you know, every video is for those people. You know, there's information out there about anything and any firearm. So if you are one of those people, you know, find information. Remember that a firearm can be completely safe, just like a lawnmower or a chainsaw, a car. I mean, you name it, a pocket knife, whatever. But it can also be a rattlesnake. I mean, it is. You've got to treat it with respect and know how it operates. Keep that finger off the trigger. Use the right ammo, and observe Cooper's 4 rules of gun safety. Look that one up. You don't ever point at anything you're not willing to destroy, and you keep your finger off the trigger and all that kind of stuff. And you know, just get some training, if at all possible. It's difficult right now, and you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy whatever firearm you purchased. And we'll maybe do a video dedicated to that. But we're glad to have new shooters, you know, into the fold. That's for sure. All right, so help people. If you know anybody who has just bought a gun for the first time, help them all you can, really. And I'll sign off because I'm going too long. I'm taking my stuff off. This if you've never done archery, again, you know, the glove is needed. Yeah, really. It's not just because it looks cool, like the hat on backwards. That string on your fingers, against your fingers, hurts. It's hard. You a lot of pressure on it. It really is. There's some people maybe who are more manly who don't do that, use one, but most people do. Anybody I've seen does at matches and different things. Yeah, that way you just do it, forget about it. You can focus on your shooting. It's great. And then this is for the string. It slaps your arm sometimes, and boy, can it hurt. Okay, so that way you don't have to think about that. So those are irrelevant then. See, you got all that taken care of. And you know, just get a bow. You can buy a bow that's not very expensive. It's a great hobby. It really is. And some of you that hunt, maybe you would even want to hunt with a bow. It's wonderful. I was even making my own arrows over the last 20 years. And I would put the fletching on, the nocks and the tips and the inserts and everything. I'd buy the shafts. But I just got to where I'm not sure where my tool is for that. I got no room for it. I got smothered by the gun stuff. And was getting low on arrows. And I located these carbon fiber arrows. They look like wood. They're not. Neither was the aluminum I used to use. They weren't real wood. But these, they shoot great. I got the right tips finally, and I'm really pleased to find these because I don't have to have them made. It's hard to find someone who'll make arrows for you. But I mean by, you know, put the right fletching and everything that you want. And so anyway, I'm in good shape again. I'm ready to go. These things seem to shoot pretty well. So I enjoy doing that. I want to keep my arm in shape. You'll be seeing a couple of archery videos probably. But mostly you'll be seeing videos that use these things. Right. Yeah. They're a lot of fun. And they're a necessary item. The government talks about cutting out and closing any services and businesses that are not considered essential. I think gun shops are essential, don't you? Yeah. So certainly the background checks are essential, and we'll go from there. So anyway, hang in there. We appreciate all the people that support us, and we appreciate you supporting them. And it's just a kind of a tough time for a lot of you, and it's really tough for some of you. It's really tough. I mean, there are people with like 6 kids or more trying to do schoolwork from home, and you're in a small apartment. Yeah, I don't know where you are, but you're probably there are people like that, right? In a small apartment, and there's even a small house in a neighborhood where there's not much room to get out and around. And man, you're in prison. Kids are driving you crazy, right? Because they can. So that's tough. It's a learning experience really for a lot of people. And but I guess we're being asked to stand on our heads for a short period of time. I think most of us will get through that. Right? So maybe we'll learn something from it. Okay? And I didn't mean to preach. Maybe I did, but I probably shouldn't have preached so much at you about being prepared or about finances and all that kind of thing. I am no expert really in anything. I don't really consider myself an expert except that I've lived a while. That's the only thing I'm expert in. Somehow I managed to live, a pretty long time. And I've learned from a lot of mistakes, and I've said that before. When you make a lot of mistakes in your life, you have a learning opportunity. Okay, yeah. So I've had a lot of learning opportunities. Some people don't make many mistakes, so they don't get many learning opportunities. See, so there's a positive side to everything. So what else? Okay, so I'm enjoying my archery, and I'm shooting, and like many of you, with this ammo shortage, I'm not going to overdo it on come out and blast, 200-300 rounds of 9mm or something, because all the ammo manufacturers are going to be probably short on stock for a while. That's my guess. We're okay for the videos that we need to make, and want to make, but this is a weird world right now, and but I'm pretty weird myself, so I fit right in. Life is good.